And here we go.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored. They did it.
Left.
What the hell was that? Oh, yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Welcome in, everybody. This is Monday Morning Quarterback, only on A2D Radio. Every show, we are brought to you by our doc, make him yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Tom Arnone, Ryan Brodo, the family out there joining us. Welcome in. We got a jam-packed show for you like we always do. Nothing new. Latest Sixers news, Dakota Mathias, just released from the Sixers. So that just opens up room. Yeah. The people on Sixers Twitter right now that are actually like bothered by Mathias not being here anymore is alarming. Like it alarms me. It alarms me. Korkmaz is coming back. That's why they have to make room. That's all it is. Everybody out there that thinks a big move's coming. That's not what it means. It means Korkmaz is ready to come back Wednesday. It's as simple as that. I don't know why people are upset about Dakota Mathias being released. We'll talk about that when we get to our latest Sixers news. Flyers versus Sabres. We'll do a little pregame, some Flyers talk for the family out there. Sabres come to town 0-2. Flyers 2-0. We'll get to 3-0 tonight. I'm not sure who the goaltender is. I think it's Carter Hart tonight, but I know Elliott is definitely going to be the goaltender in the next game or two. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they're going to want to get him work. So we'll preview and pregame Flyers, Sabres, NFL playoff talk. We'll go over the games that happened yesterday and throughout the weekend. And Saturday, the games were okay. Sunday, I thought, entertaining. I thought all the games, but really the Green Bay game was fairly entertaining. I wanted to see Lamar and the Ravens lose because I just wanted to prove the point that you got to be able to throw from the pocket. And here we are again. So tried to throw from the pocket, and that went 101 yards. So we'll talk about everything that happened this weekend. And listen, we got to preview the big boys coming up. All right. We got championship Sunday coming up in the NFL and big games, right? Big games. You're talking about the Buccaneers, Tom Brady going to Lambeau against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. And listen, let's be real. The Buccaneers have gotten it done defensively. Mm-hmm. All right. And they continue to do that. It's going to be a dogfight in Lambeau, which would be great for the fans, which is I'm excited for, just sitting home watching it. Okay, and then you got your AFC game, which is another dogfight, right? Buffalo, Kansas City. We don't know what's going to go happen with Mahomes, and then we're going to talk about that. Can Kansas City win a game with Chad Henne? So all that we got to talk about. But our main topic at hand ties around and surrounds the Philadelphia Eagles and who their next coach is going to be. And it's Josh McDaniels, and we're going to talk about the hiring of Josh McDaniels. If that's their coach, there's still some other guys and names out there, so nothing set in stone. But remember, they met for 8 hours. 8 hours. Unless you're getting a Robert Kraft rub and tug, I don't know what's going on for 8 hours, how much fun you're having. So we'll talk about that. It ties into our poll question brought to you by allcampusoc.com. Use discount code A2D for 15% off all your team hats. Allcampusoc.com, discount code A2D, 15% off your team hats. Our poll question: hiring Josh McDaniels as the next Eagles coach would be a mistake. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcast, we're there as well. Like, subscribe, follow, download. Join the conversation with us today. All right, we're going to lead you into the Sports Sounds coming up here at 7:30. And obviously, Flyers hockey drops at 7. The puck drops. The puck drops on the hottest team in the city.
Thank God.
The hottest team in the city. And the Sixers, we were robbed from one last night. Obviously, some COVID cases for the Grizzlies, so they shut that down. So now we got to wait till Wednesday for the Sixers, and they'll play the Celtics. So that's a primetime game. So that's exciting. But to the Eagles, to the coaching search, to Josh McDaniels. Hiring Josh McDaniels as the next Eagles coach would be a mistake, agree or disagree. Listen, usually, all things being equal, I would be on the agree side, okay? Because I would say, there's a lot of names out there, or we're an attractive organization, A, B, C, and D, right? I would say, no, I think, I don't want them. But where are we going? What direction are we going? We don't even have a direction. So I'll stand on this island with it. I'm not saying I'm the biggest Josh McDaniels guy, but the guy does come from being around greatness in Brady and Belichick, okay, and has 6 rings to go with it. Brings some accountability. Has had a chance in Denver. Has failed, and failed miserably. 11-17 over that tenure. Fine, okay, fine. But some guys can figure it out their second time around. Some can't. But are we really in a position where we're not willing to see if a guy can figure it out? Let him see if he can figure it out. What do we got to lose at this point? What do we think we're winning? Our owner told us 2 to 5 years. So I would rather not have just a yes man in here. I'd rather have a guy that maybe can hold this quarterback accountable, can hold this organization, this roster accountable. I'll just take my chance. And I know, listen, I know Pat's had a bad year this year. Cam Newton's also a bad quarterback. But can he help Carson Wentz out? I don't know. But who do you guys really want to hire? I mean, Lincoln Riley said no. So you got Joe Brady, who has no experience. Some of these guys too, you got to remember something, that just because they're successful as a coordinator doesn't mean they're going to be successful as a head coach either. Hey, James, how you doing, brother? So, that's all I'm saying to it. We really have nothing to lose. And I think from what I've heard about the defense side of the football, he'll bring in good coordinators. Right. And that intrigues me. So I just feel like sometimes when you fail, you can figure it out. Bill failed, came back, figured it out. There's other coaches that have failed the first time, figured it out the second time. Not guaranteeing that. But I can guarantee you that, I know Eric Bieniemy people are going to say, listen, I see zero chance of an Andy guy coming here after we just fired an Andy guy. And, I don't see that happening. So to our poll, I will agree or disagree. Sorry. It's worded weird. Oh, did I just delete it? Yeah, I did. Okay. I got to put that back in. So give me a second. Hit the wrong button. All right, Josh McDaniels, his next Eagles coach would be a mistake. I disagree. And on a usual year, maybe if we felt like we were going in this great direction and all these names were out there and we were excited. We were excited. We were like, okay, there's a bunch of stuff out here. We're an attractive spot. We're a great place to come to, right? Then I'm like, okay, let's try her out. Let's try it out. Let's test the market a little bit more. But we know we're not going to the Andy tree. They're not going to come here, all right? The list of teams that are available are the bad ones. So now you're up against it. Now he's got to hope somebody takes your job. Somebody's got to take your job, or you might come in the next year without a head coach, right? And the only reason it would tell me they would hire Deuce Staley is if nobody took their job.
Yep.
And that's what's concerning. It makes the whole situation concerning. So to me, it's who's left out there? Us and the Texans?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
That's fun. When they don't even, their quarterback doesn't even want to be there. So,
we have 7 quarterbacks and they have 0 quarterbacks. So that's fine.
Yeah. And there's reports that ours didn't want to be here. So, we don't know if he really wants to be here. We assume he does. We don't know anything anymore.
Nope.
This is a bad situation. I hate it here. And I can't believe I'm agreeing and I'm being an advocate for a guy that I don't necessarily love, but look at the names out there.
Exactly.
That's where I stand.
It's really tough, Tom. And obviously we were talking in our A2D group chat last night. If this show happened last night, I would vehemently be screaming from the rooftop saying, no, absolutely not, absolutely not, absolutely not. And I'm not saying that in 24 hours or less than 24 hours, I've completely shifted and say, oh, well, I'm a Josh McDaniels guy. I don't think anybody in this chat, I know Tom's not, and I certainly am not. But to Tom's point, all right, And kind of going back to what we've talked about the last week or so, ever since, because we are now exactly 1 week removed from Doug Pederson being fired, and obviously that, absolutely atrocious press conference from Jeffrey Lurie. So you look around and you say, okay, well, my guy, Brian Daboll, all accounts, he just turned down the job this morning. He doesn't want it. He's like, nah, I'm good. So
would you?
yeah. So, which again, it confirms that this guy's a really smart guy if he's turning down our job. So I credit him. And like his agents talked about last night, Daboll's probably going to be in a situation like Bieniemy's been in, to where he's going to be one of the highly coveted guys if he's not either hired this year or taken by the Texans. Until he gets that head coaching job, he's going to be able to get a job that he really likes and that's actually attractive. So when I look at all the options out there, I say, okay, well, my guy Daboll's out. All reports say Lincoln Riley, except, unless you really pay him, a boatload, or unless you're the Dallas Cowboys, he's not coming here. You got Joe Brady out there. I know people like it. I'm okay with it. Like, I'm cool with it. But, I'm not, overly excited about it because he only has, 1 year as far as an offensive coordinator in this kind of, chain of events since obviously the LSU days. Then Brandon Staley already taken. So where you look at Josh McDaniels and you say, all right, well, it's not Kafka, who I didn't want. It's not Greg Roman, who I know a lot of people were iffy on. It's not Deuce Staley, who I didn't want, not because it's Deuce, but because I didn't want to kind of retread Philadelphia Flyers 2.0 type thing. Josh McDaniels, when you look at the Patriots, I know they didn't have a great year this year, but, 9 out of the last 10 seasons, they've had a top 10 offense. They do know how to work with an offense without having many skill players on the outside, unless you're talking about Julian Edelman or Josh Gordon for 5 seconds. So when you look at, hey, been able to win without, your GM getting you wide receivers, well, God, Josh McDaniels has been doing that forever, because the only, I think, organization that drafts worse than us, especially with wide receivers, are the New England Patriots. And the biggest thing I go back to is I truly believe that Josh McDaniels is not a puppet. I don't believe he's somebody that would be pushed around. I do believe he's one of these alpha guys. I think I know, obviously, he has a long track record of working with, big personalities and talking about the highest caliber of quarterbacks going to Tom Brady. So is it a wow hire? No. But to Tom's point, like we've talked about before, the Eric Bieniemys, the wow hires, I don't think was ever in the cards here because we don't have an attractive job. We don't. And like we talked about before, I would much rather have Eric Bieniemy here. But you really think Doug Pederson, who came from that same tree, worked with Eric Bieniemy before, is going to give Bieniemy a call, be like, those are great guys. Howie Roseman, he's not power hungry at all. You think he's really going to give a great 5-star review for this organization right now? I don't think so. So I'm actually more concerned, and Tom, I know we briefly touched on it before we went on the air, and I told you I would tell you, on the air to get your live reaction to it. If you want to talk about concerns, I'm more concerned about the rumored coordinators that might be tied to McDaniels. But as far as McDaniels in his own, I'm not going to go screaming from the rooftop saying, oh, this is bad, and I'm not going to be celebrating like we won a friggin' Super Bowl either. It's an okay hire, and at the end of the day, I just want to remind people of this before we get to the comments. We really don't know when it comes to head coaching hirings. Perfect example was what happened the last time we hired one, Doug Pederson. 90%, I would say maybe 95% of the fan base in the world thought it was the worst hire ever. Well, if you look back at all those hires that happened that same offseason with all the other head coaching jobs, Doug Pederson one was the best hire. So it's really all up to gut feeling. It's not like, hey, when we look at a draft guy like Patrick Surtain, it's like, oh, well, we have film on the guy. There's really no film on a guy when you talk about head coaching jobs. You know what I'm saying? It's all about his staff, the people he works with, and how he adapts and works with the players. So it's really just a gut feeling thing. I know we really want to have like our guys and like, hey, who we kind of endorse, but it's kind of a wait and see thing. And it sucks because
they're to endorse. I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, people are like endorsing guys that I just like, there's guys at ATD, a bunch of people like endorsing coordinators that I don't know. I don't know how many by stamping these coordinators. Like, You know, the defense coordinator from the Rams. I mean, look at their defense. I mean, they're number one defense in football. Look at the talent they have on defense. There's a reason. There's a reason that helps you be a good coach and a good coordinator. You know, I've said it about Buffalo. Like they got they got good players. It helps you to have a number one wide receiver and the best slot guy in the game right now. All that helps you to be a good coordinator. So everybody out there tells me, well, McDaniels had Brady. Well, so did all these guys. They haven't got their chance to fail as a head coach, or maybe they don't fail. Nobody knows that. That's the thing. That's why there's nothing to endorse when you're talking about assistants. Like it's hard to endorse assistants because you don't know how they're going to go when they now have to lead the whole game before. So the fact of the matter, the only thing out of all these names that makes sense of what's left is a guy that, okay, he failed somewhere. So maybe means he knows he's had an opportunity to do it and maybe learn from his mistakes. Maybe that's a win for us. That's the only reason that I disagree to the poll. That's the only reason is because I think that could maybe be a win for us. Maybe he figures it out. Maybe, like I said, Gerard Mayo. I mean, that's an enticing name for me. That's an enticing name if he can get him to come with him. Extremely enticing. We want a good defensive coordinator. We want new. We want fresh. Then this is the direction we have to go. And none of this makes me think we're winning anytime soon.
No.
Because I don't know if there's an urgency from upper management to do that. So I know everybody out there, like, you know, you want to talk about, well, again, what having Brady. All these coordinators just got you. Have guys. I mean, the guy Staley has the best defensive tackle maybe to ever play the game. So that doesn't mean he can't be a great head coach. I don't know.
Bieniemy has Mahomes. Kafka has Mahomes. You know, Dable has Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? So it's big. And I really like what Bill Middlebrook said here, too. He says, you know, he's been with the Patriots for 8 years for a reason. Forget Denver. That was a power struggle with Elway. And you look at how you talk about Tom Dewar, he had Brady. Well, we all know this was Brady's guy. And as much as people don't like Brady and the handshake with Nick Foles, I understand, Brady's not he's not well liked around the country unless you're a Patriots fan. But at the end of the day, Brady trusted this guy. When Brady was out of New England, when he was making his way out, people within the organization, leaked sources said that he trusted McDaniels more than Belichick. So I like that because, again, we want to talk about trust with your quarterback.
Bill, he didn't. And then secondly, he didn't leave New England because of Bill and McDaniels. Let's make this clear. He left because talent around wasn't as good, all right, offensively, and it's freezing there.
Yeah.
Okay? And he's 43 years old. So he's trying to go play in warmer weather, and then look where he goes, has to find himself in the NFC Championship game in Lambeau. But like he didn't leave because of like this power struggle with them two guys. Like I laugh at that stuff. Like, oh, he left because of Bill. Like he left because the talent wasn't as good offensively. And at some point, like everything comes to an end. It doesn't mean there's like this hatred. You know what I'm saying? Like when you win 6 Super Bowls together, this isn't like hatred with each other.
Yeah, exactly. Look at Noah, by the way. Look at Noah chiming in from the clouds. I love this.
I want Jeff to get out of the way, fire Howie, and hire a football guy. Well, I mean, no, stuff that's been said ad nauseum. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Vincent, I know he did draft Tebow with his pick, but guess what? That's full control pick. He doesn't have full control here because we already know this. So let Howie miss the picks.
Yeah, true.
Luke, you're right. This has boomer bust written all over it, Luke Brown says. And Luke, I don't disagree with you. And, at this point, we already busted. And I've been on the record saying, well, if we were going to bring Howie back, we might as well just bring Doug back because at least them two showed after a losing season, they can go to a Super Bowl the following year. You know what I mean? And that's the only positive I could have said about that. But again, when you lose this league, you lose jobs. And if you're firing one, you should have fired the other. And we're not there. So there's nothing we can do about it. So there's no point in talking about that. It's talking about what's the best guy for this job that's left out there. And my number one guy was always Lincoln Riley because I thought he could be innovative. But I don't think that's realistic. So
now
here's where we're at.
I'll give you, Tom, and the fan at home that might have heard this or might not have heard it. Just give me your gut reaction to it, especially the fan at home. So, and I believe this was in the Inquirer this afternoon. the rumored coordinators from both sides, offensive and defensive coordinator, that McDaniels has been kind of prepping for the Eagles job and building his entire team, is Adam Gase and Matt Patricia.
I like Matt Patricia to be defense coordinator. And the other one, I don't know.
I have, when you talk about Patricia, I'm fine with it as a coordinator, okay? But there's two main issues. Number one, how are you going to bring Patricia in here when Slay absolutely hated everything about him and that organization? Went to Twitter and talked he was celebrating on Twitter when Matt Patricia got fired. And he was gone. That was like 6 months removed from being traded from there. So how are you going to bring, if you're bringing him in, everything tells me, well, Slay's getting traded. Because how you doing that? How you making that work? And I don't care. Like, I know Chrome last night was like, oh, well, Adam Gase. I'm not bringing that friggin' guy in here. When you talk about culture, when you talk about players wanting to go after, quote unquote, because that was one of the many big time reports from this season that, players wanted to go after Doug Pederson when he tanked the game in week 17. So you're gonna take Doug out, but then you're gonna bring Adam Gase in when you had Jamal Adams and Le'Veon Bell force their way out because of Adam Gase? Hell no. He could be the best offensive mind in the game, which he's not, by the way. No. Absolutely not.
The one thing I'll say about Patricia is, keep in mind something. Like, you're not running the show. You're just running the defense. You're going back to, like, what you do well. But, remember something. The Seahawks interviewed Adam Gase for their offensive coordinator job. Okay?
And Jamal was there.
You got to factor in Jamal Adams to that. So, guy isn't coming in to be the head coach. So, things can be better there. Now, I'm not Mr. Adam Gase at all. I don't know what that does for me. I don't even know what that does for me. I don't want to react to that until that really happens and blow a gasket. You know what I mean? But again, guys had some success as an offensive coordinator. So again, you're not being the head coach. So it matters a little bit to me. There's a little.
Don, yeah, we'll bring Adam Gase on A2D and we'll have a staring contest with the freaking crazy eyes.
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't.
Yeah, but you have to understand, he's not the head coach. Like, he's not the head coach. So much different. That's why, like, the Seahawks be like, Jamal, what are you talking about? The guy's offensive coordinator. You know what I mean? Like,
I just don't want him in the building, Tom. I just don't want him in the. I don't care.
You already got all this crap in the building. Yeah. To be able to pick and choose what you want days is over.
I just want to cleanse, Tom. And I know we're not going to get the full cleanse until Howie's out or probably Jeffrey's out. I just want that cleanse.
You're not getting it.
Let me dream at least. At least let me dream. Because I mean, when you look at the crazy eyes with Adam Gase and Howie Roseman, people are going to be throwing tomatoes through the Zoom call. You know what I'm saying? Like, thank God the media's not in the building. Disaster. Imagine a press conference with those two, with Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, and Adam Gase. God.
Was there any other names, like, in there besides just them two?
Nope.
It was just them two. That was it. All by themselves?
All by themselves. Yeah, I'll take this Mayo guy. I'll take him in 2 seconds.
I'll take Rod Mayo over Matt Patricia.
Yeah.
Or going to be more innovative, younger guy, relates to players better. Kevin, you're 100% right. Tom's given up. He knows we're up Schitt's Creek, so he has no optimism left. Yeah,
he's lost all of his fight. I'm
a battered fighter right now.
You've seen too much, Tom. You've seen far too much.
And I've been over it since the second Howie kept his job and the owner defended it. So listen, guys, you can bring whatever mind you want in, John. I just don't think it goddamn matters. I don't think it matters. The defensive mind for what? With no talent, it doesn't matter. We don't even know what this roster's going to look like. Right?
No.
I mean, we don't know anything. We're in such doom and gloom, in my opinion, until I'm proven freaking otherwise. That's where we're at. So you could bring in whoever the hell you want to bring in. You could give me the sexiest goddamn name alive. Wait, like looks great in lingerie. Okay, you give me that IG model, and I'm gonna tell you, you know what? How many filters this bitch using? Okay, because I don't trust it. I don't trust none of it because of the guy who's making the hire. Okay, I don't. No GM is around for going on 4 coaches. It doesn't happen. It does not happen.
Just like the singular draft picks that this guy made would get a normal GM fired. Like the Ortega-Whiteside pick would get somebody ran out of a city in a normal situation, let alone all of the other things. It's horrible.
It's bad. So what direction you guys want to go? Who's a sexy name? Joe Brady? Did you guys know how much talent he had at freaking LSU?
He had like a pro-style offense. He had like freaking 100 receivers. He had Joe Burrow. He had Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
You don't understand? I could write stuff in the sand. There we go. You know what I mean? I could put stuff on a chalkboard, tell the other team what I'm running out there, and we're still going to score. That's where I stand with it. I'm not saying he wouldn't be a good hire. I don't know. But who's coming here and it's all getting taken it all over? Like who's changing? What up, Todd? Who's changing
What's up, Todd?
the direction we're going? Raymond, Deuce Staley's changing it? Deuce Staley? I mean, tell me. I mean, I could be wrong. Deuce Staley, the assistant head coach on a coaching staff that just was fired that won 4 games. The assistant head coach. That guy's the right hire. Who the hell's punking me? Who's punking me? If I'm getting punked then. Am I getting punked? No, that's a yes man. That's why, and I love Deuce.
I love him too.
You're that coach somewhere. Not here, not right now.
It's the definition of missionary talk, Tom. That's all it is. You're not changing. Everything that you talk about, we want a different.
We find a lot about these guys, right, when we sit here.
Mm-hmm.
We find a lot about the guys who just who just tell their ladies, listen, we're just going to keep it simple. You know what I mean? We find just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. Breaking balls.
Bill says, question Ryan, Tommy. If Bill Cowher called tomorrow and said, I'll take the job, would you want
him? Sure.
Part of me would think, part of me would question why he wants the job, though. Like, you're coming out of retirement for this?
I
mean, I like that the name's fun, but it's like,
Bill, when you don't trust anything anymore, okay, I'll take him. I mean, that's every name you're going to tell me. Like, all right. I think another one, Anthony. I think Anthony just said Rex Ryan. All right.
I'll take it for the entertainment value.
All right. I mean, anybody else got names?
We're going to watch the city burn. I'll do it while it's being entertaining. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take Bill. I'm just not excited about that.
Pennsylvania guy, yeah.
Guys, it's the guy upstairs. It's
he actually.
You can sign Bill tomorrow. Oh, Bill. I mean, I was hoping Pittsburgh gets rid of Mike Tomlin, right? And I love Mike, but here I'm like, all right.
The funny thing with Bill Cowher actually has a beach house 2 blocks away from mine in North Carolina, Tom, where I go all the time. His house is 2 blocks away from me.
You guys can have a couple of sips together.
Yeah, hey, I'll set up a meeting
each day.
Yeah, I'll be like, dude, what are you thinking? Stay away from here.
That's where I'm at, Kevin. I don't care if Barney the dinosaur wanted to come in. We're fucked either way with Allie. Yep.
oh, here we go, Rome. Mike V, quarterback coach.
No, wait a second. Anybody? Tim P.O. says, anybody know what Rich Kotite's up to?
Something better than here.
You guys want to rebuild? All right, let's go. We can go to Rome now. All right. Boom.
No, you're saying Vic quarterback coach. Lord have mercy.
Because I'll figure it out, Rome.
He also said Josh McCown. Like, yeah, I'm waiting for that. I
would love Josh McCown back in the building. I think he helped. I think he helped Carson.
For what? Quarterbacks coach?
Yeah.
Better than Press Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, Press Taylor's not going to be here anymore.
No. Well, that's what I'm saying. Anything's better than that guy.
Yeah, I know. McCown and Carson, he helped Carson, in my opinion. Big time.
Bring in Brett Brown.
Hey, we're in trust the process mode now, Luke.
Yeah.
Howie pulling his hinky.
Perfect guy for a rebuild.
Yep. Except he'll miss every pick.
Alec, good question. Who are y'all's least favorite? Who are your least favorite candidates? What would be the worst nightmare hire besides keeping Howie? Well, that's a reality. That's not even like a scenario. Like that's our life right now.
Mike Kafka.
Yeah, that would be good. And I'm a Kafka guy, but no.
That'd be just like okay, we're really just keep circling this tree. You know what I mean? We're just going to keep going back here. We're going to go back to this tree. Pooty, what up? What up, brother?
What's up, Pooty?
Yeah, Big Moose, you can get a wrench.
1 second, I'll give it to you.
Big Moose a wrench.
No, it says hired, no Eden.
No, I'm not going to hire you. All right, I'm not hiring you. I love you. I'm not hiring you.
I agree with Kevin. Jason Garrett would be one of those. Like, okay, like what? Can we just not? Same thing with friggin' the guy who looks like he's my age. Yeah, Kellen Moore.
I would rather go Kellen Moore, but I hear you. You know what I mean? Just because he is younger.
Was he ever officially? He was interviewed, right? Like that already happened.
I believe so.
Okay.
But then usually it'll if they're really interested in a guy again, they had an earlier meeting with them and they really want him, they'll bring him back in again.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So
Todd Bowles would be another one. That would just be like, what do we do? Like I saw all Twitter today be like, oh, he had a great game plan against the Saints. No, the game plan was Drew Brees can't play anymore. that was the game plan, ladies and gentlemen, for the Buccaneers. Like,
what up?
Oh, okay. What's up, Nate?
No, I'm not. I don't. All these names are like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like all these names are like, there's not that name out there. When we went on this coaching search in 2016, there was at least some names like floating around. You know what I mean? That were intriguing. Not that any of them worked out, right? Because this is what happens. You go to bad teams, right? You go to bad teams, and it's hard to get out. Like Urban Meyer, he's got the best chance to succeed because of the situation he's going to.
Yep.
So, you know what I mean? Everything's got to be looked at like that. Like, Staley going to the Chargers. Okay? I mean, you're going to have a chance to succeed because you have talent.
Oh, he has a good point.
Yeah, I mean, he does run the ball.
Miles isn't Zeke Elliott, though. I know Bill asked us another one. He said, one more question, guys. Would you like Wade Phillips as a coordinator?
I don't know. And we got to get rid of a lot of people quick because, I mean, that's a 3-4.
Yep.
It's not a 4-3 coming in. I don't know. I mean, I'm good. I'm good on Wade Phillips at this point. I mean, Wade's got to be like 80.
And then that's what I was going to say. I was going to ask Bill. I was like, isn't he 90?
80, 90. Rome says, is Carson coachable?
I feel like, Tom, you should do a 2.0 version. And fam, if you didn't see Tom's Crumb of the Day, it's everywhere: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. But that's a good question, but I think it's unfair. Not Rome. Rome's question is fair because he's going based off of the reports. But we were talking before the show, Tom, and I know I'm not saying you want to rehash what you said earlier, but it's the point. It's how do we know all this stuff is true? You know what I'm saying with this Carson
sit there and say, okay, I'm going to print something and say I have a source, but not name my source, and that's okay, and I can print whatever I want. And that to me is where I start to draw the line on all these reports, even in LA today. Over in LA today, supposedly McVay and Goff, the relationship could be fractured.
I sense a theme here.
Constant, when something's not successful, automatically people don't get along, and we're going to print stuff for divide. And that's what the mainstream media loves. And all these beat reporters are part of it. And I'm not saying that I don't trust plenty of them, okay? Because we do. We all do, all right? And I'm not saying that guys that have posted stuff about Carson haven't been right or posted good stuff in the past. But, you're slandering a guy's character and everything he does and not having to put any name with it. And personally, that's not how I operate. It's not how we should operate. And to me, it's disgusting. Disgusting. This guy does so much good work out there, and we're slandering a name where he's uncoachable, or he's stubborn. Okay, maybe he is stubborn. A lot of quarterbacks are stubborn.
Yep.
Okay, I mean, it's not all. You guys got to realize it's not all rainbows and blowjobs inside at times. You know what I mean? These all these guys got egos to get to this level. All right, and that doesn't mean he's not coachable. I find it funny. Oh, he's not coachable. We know that to be fact. That's where we got to draw the line. Not for Rome in general. We got to draw the line on assuming reports are just facts. Facts. No, I want to see facts then. I want to see players come out and say it then. Because if it's so egregious, I don't want him here. Make sense? If it's so egregious, then I don't want him here then. And us as fans deserve to know that. We deserve to know what's real and what's not. Especially on reports like this. This is opinion. This isn't an opinion-based report. Okay? It's not opinion-based. These guys are claiming this stuff to be factual, but not putting anybody with it. Mm-hmm. That's unfair. It's unfair to anybody. Would anybody want that?
No. And
we wonder why players get tired of it here.
Exactly. And then they go elsewhere where there's less pressure and they can finally breathe a little bit. And I'm not saying it all needs to be like we talked about. Everyone needs to be, hey, great job. Here's your participation trophy. But I mean, like we talked about before. Tom and I talked about it right before we came on the air. You can be the biggest Carson Wentz hater ever. And we're talking about him as a person because a lot of this, to Tom's point, it's about him as the man. There's no question how bad he was, whether it was truly his fault or not. He was awful this year. There's no going away from that. But the more and more reports come out, it's not about him as a player. It's about him as a person and a teammate. When you talk about purposely changing the plays, not being a leader, undermining teammates, fighting with coordinators, fighting with the quarterback's coach, having a fractured relationship with the head coach, not being a good teammate to Jalen Hurts. That has nothing to do with him on the field. That has all to do with him as the man and the teammate. And I would have to think, even if you're the biggest Carson Wentz hater in the world, some of that stuff, like the headline that we posted this morning that came out over the weekend, Carson Wentz purposefully changed the plays at the line because he hates Doug Pederson. Even the biggest Carson Wentz doubters would have to look at that and be like, huh? What? No, because like we talked about before. I made this analogy about 4 weeks ago.
Hold on. Ow. That you're talking. Do you know what you're saying? I love you. Did you never played a sport in your life? To say an athlete is going out there to sabotage. So a coach gets fired. Come, guys. We believe this. We sit back here. Anybody's ever played a sport of any competitiveness in your life? You played a fucking game of Uno, Al. I play a game of Uno. I ain't sabotaging shit. What are we talking about right now? Nobody's doing that. All right, that's like
gate now. I mean,
that's like the biggest conspiracy theory ever. That's like you're looking for every conspiracy theory in the book to make a point. Come on, man. That's not even fair to say. That's what I'm talking about. That's what the problem is in this city. We're letting everything out there that these idiots report, and we're kind of make it factual. That's, again, attacking a man's character, right? His professional character. His competitiveness character. Think about what we're attacking when we even type stuff like this. You don't gotta like Carson. I don't give a rat's ass one way or the other. If he's here, not here, you know where I stand on this whole organization. It is what it is to me right now. Okay? But at the end of the day, we're going way too far with this. Way too far. And to me, it's mind-boggling. So you're telling me a guy tanked on purpose? You're telling me he went out there and threw picks on purpose, Al? That's what he did? Oh, you know what? I got hit in the back. Let me fumble on purpose because I wanted to be terrible, and I want to get crucified for having a horrendous year, and I want to be talked about every day. You think that's really the direction he decided on instead of trying to win games?
Al,
We're winning. You don't get talked about in a bad light ever.
Maybe he just had a bad year, Al. Maybe he just had a bad year. Maybe the offensive line was bad. Maybe the entire situation in order to succeed was bad. Maybe he was just bad. What about that, Al? I'm not saying he's the perfect teammate. Nobody is. But now he's going out and tanking games?
When Aaron Rodgers had bad years, they attacked everything about him.
He was apparently done for 3 years. The past 3 years, Aaron was done. People were saying, Jordan Love will finish the season. People were in our chat.
Not even that. I'm not even talking about playing on the field. I'm talking about when you lose games, you start getting crushed about everything. His character was assaulted, is my point. Aaron Rodgers' character was assaulted. Like, this goes around. These reporters assault characters when things don't go right for clicks and attention. You guys understand this? He's one of the best quarterbacks of all time. And when they were losing, guess what happened? They attacked his character.
Exactly, Robert. And that's not an excuse.
Rodgers had
reason.
a bad year to get what's his face fired? Did he
McCarthy.
Bad year. Oh, you know what? I don't like Mike so much. They might not have had the greatest relationship, but do you think that he sabotaged to get him out, or you think they're trying to win?
On the latter parts of his career, when Aaron was 35, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm gonna sacrifice 3 out of my last 6 years of my career because I want to coach out. So you think Aaron was purposely getting hurt and not playing to his full potential because of that, or because the roster wasn't very good, the defense wasn't very good, and it happens. You have down years. I don't know, Al. Might be a lot more exciting with that storyline that you wrote. I mean, that's something out of a friggin' movie. That's not reality. And if it is, like I said, if all this stuff was real, I'm not saying, and Tom's not saying it's all fake. When there's smoke, there's fire. We know that. We knew that with the Doug Pederson reports. We knew that with the Jalen Hurts reports. We've seen it all the time, every year, every team, every season. But if all this was just 100% gospel and true, and Carson was this egregious with being a bad teammate, and he was tanking the season, you don't think teammates are fighting him in the locker room? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now.
I ain't gonna be allowed on the sidelines. Like, I just too much, guys. It's just too much. Like, I don't even care what's true or fake anymore. It's just I'm too smart and been around it too long just to believe that, like, as soon as failure happens, people are the biggest scumbags in the world, right? Okay, yeah. Abel.
Exactly.
Rodgers, his collarbone broke on purpose. You know, he threw picks on purpose. He didn't want to be successful on purpose. Carson Wentz sabotaged his career right here on purpose. Like, come on, guys. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, if you want to say, and somebody else said, like, yeah, Rodgers was being criticized for being a bad teammate, a prick, all these things. Okay, it's funny. Are them things being criticized right now? I'm asking because they're in an NFC title game. So I'm asking because I don't fucking know.
Back to back.
Fucking joke. I'm so sick of it. We do this on purpose. And the problem is with Philly is it's not just one beat reporter doing this. It's numerous. It's handfuls. That's what makes it disgusting. Like, why would anybody want to be here? I wouldn't want to be here. My character is assaulted by you, and you. And I'm supposed to go up to the podium and answer your questions. Now you know why Doug got sick of these idiots and couldn't take it anymore. And part of the reason why he got worn the hell out and didn't want to be here anymore. Okay? Because these guys make it sickening up there. They make you sick to your stomach. They constant stupid questions. And everybody out there on Twitter blows these guys like they're some kind of saviors and answers. Do you realize what's different? Somebody asked me this. Like, everybody always talks to me about time, credentials. I'll get in places. You know what I say to that? Have you been on social media? You can get any information from a player you want. Why do you have to be in there? Well, you know what I mean? Like, what is a question? What is me asking a player a question after a game get me any answers?
When 99% of the time, they're just going to give you a filler answer. A coach is going to give you a coach's answer, and the player is going to give you a typical player's leadership answer.
Yeah.
And again, Tom, you and I have talked about this 100 times. We've said it on shows. We've said it off the air. in order to get the press credentials and keep the press credentials, you have to be a pawn to the organization. If you ask a controversial question, well, they're going to mute you and they're going to take away those press credentials. So you got to play nice and you got to ask the proper question. It's all a game. It's all it is.
Robert says Robert Skaversky or Skaversky. Sorry, I don't know if I said that right. But
Is that Jeff's brother?
Says, give me Joe Brady right now. I know he had talent, but I heard Jefferson giving him credit and saying he got him pro ready on the McAfee show. And I'll say this about Joe Brady too. Like, all right, yeah, you know what I mean. Like, all right. I mean, that's where I'm at. So it's like I don't. There's really no name that I'm like, that's the guy I definitely want. So I know how Robert's saying. He's just more like give me him because that's all that's left.
I agree with Matt Spillane. He says this is the conspiracy theory climate we live in now. Once the story about changing the plays got legs, it's been Wentz slander mode ever since. People will run with whatever they can, and it's sickening. And you know why? Because, and I'm not saying the fan base is wrong, but ever since we've had this entire atrocious of a season, and then you see, okay, Howie's not moving on and Doug's staying, the fan base has been thirsty for blood. You know what I'm saying? We want to blame everybody. We want to, we're going to blame this guy. Okay, we're going to trash him. That's how we get our anger out.
Well, that's what happens when you lose.
Yes.
But Matt, I mean, the biggest thing about it is every quarterback that's a franchise quarterback changes plays. So, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything. It's just stupid. People are just stupid. Like, they think that's real and that's an issue. Like, okay.
I agree, George. The problem is, like we said, Dable is smart enough to say, nah, I'm good. I'll stay with an organization that's playing in the AFC title game, and I'll work with my team. Because, again, he runs that entire offense. He is the offense, Dable, because McDermott's a defensive-minded head coach. So he does whatever he wants with it. So that's a great situation. And then next year, when you're going to have another 7 to 10 head coaching openings, probably 6 out of those 7 next year are probably be more attractive than this year. Then we can reassess. Dable, like we talked about, Dable and Bieniemy have been names for the last handful of years. Mostly Bieniemy. He's waiting for that proper moment because they can afford to, because they're in a great situation right now. So I wouldn't want to come here.
Clay says, Peyton Manning changed more plays than any QB ever. Yep, you're right.
I wonder if it's because he hated his head coach, Clay. Probably. I'm sure that'll be an article.
Big play, Slay. What's up, brother?
Big play, Slay. You want Patricia back? Might be getting them.
Coming soon. Person says, the next few years should be really interesting for Eagles fans. I'm here for it. You're all going to have a lot of work between Howie's decisions and beat writers. I'm here for it. Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna, not even on the side of the reporters, just in the direction we're at in 2 years should be really interesting. Like, to be talking about the Eagles 2 years from now, I'm curious to see where they're at and remember back to this time, because I don't know what their direction is, and I don't think they know what their direction is besides a rebuild. You know what I mean? And that's where we're at. I mean, they are in rebuild mode. And it's simple as that. Yeah, Rob. I mean, he could be. It depends if they have success next year too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that's dependent on success. But I know somebody was asking earlier. They were saying, what's a better destination at this point, Houston or the Eagles?
It's a great question. It
just depends on the Deshaun Watson part of it. Right.
What's your percentage, Tom? And I know we do the percentage game a lot with the Eagles, but what's your percentage that Deshaun's playing for them next year?
I don't know. I mean, I think there's still a 75% chance that he's still there.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm okay.
Because I think there is a lot of pressure from the fan base down there right now too.
Yeah.
Right. So that's how I look at it. Like the fans aren't happy with ownership, et cetera, right now. There's a lot going on down there, but it doesn't look good. Like, he doesn't want to be there. There ain't no taking away from that. And there's been a lot of shots at the organization. So that's real. But it depends what you want. Like, I don't know. Somebody might look at Houston and say, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what.
He's at 0%.
I don't know why. Philly, listen, he can just not come and show up to anything. I mean, that's what guys do now. I don't agree with that one bit.
No.
You know what I mean? That's not a good teammate. But I do agree with him about the organization and him having no input, etc. But I still believe the organization holds them cards. But could they move them? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for picks that then could excite somebody. I mean, what happens if they move them for the number one? Think about it. Urban Meyer in Jacksonville. I don't even get Deshaun Watson. I don't know he can play. None against Trevor, but I know he can already play in the pros. He's 25 years old.
That would be a twist.
And then,
that'd be a hell of a twist.
Then Houston now has Trevor Lawrence. Something to think about. But that's like the only, they're not trading them unless, and then I think he has a no trade. So right? He probably has a no trade or has to agree upon it too. So it's like,
oh yeah. I don't know if it's technically a no trade, but I mean, he's definitely going to have input on where he's going. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what he has. I don't know, I don't know if he has anything like that or anything tied into his deal that I don't know about off the top of my head. But regardless, yeah. I mean, I just don't see like the Jets aren't going to get him.
No, I think the two things that have the most legs are Miami, just because of the Tua thing, and also you can in a way give them, because Miami has Houston's pick.
Hold on, our Jaguars fan isn't happy.
No, Clay. Really?
You got all the money in the world, you got talent, and Deshaun comes in the house. You're ready to win, baby. What do you want?
I think Clay's been waiting for Trevor Lawrence for like 5 years, so I think he's devoted now, and it's okay. Like he's
up on his Georgia Bulldogs.
Oh yeah, yep, that makes sense. Well, and I don't know. Like I look at the Miami thing and I say, okay, Houston gave the Dolphins have their pick to where the Dolphins can give Houston their pick back, which it's 3, I believe, and then you're giving them Tua to where, okay, you can have a quarterback ready to go. And then this other thing that came out with the Panthers, I mean, that makes a lot of sense too, just because, and I'm not even talking about the Clemson thing. Like, obviously it makes sense because, Charlotte, Clemson, that whole thing. But, they have assets too. I guess they would throw Bridgewater in the deal and then like a first, I guess. But the Jacksonville thing is interesting. It is. But as far as the percentage, I'm at 20, to be honest, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, that's just him not showing up, right?
Yeah, I think the only way that saves it, because apparently he really wants Bieniemy, and his the last straw that broke, it broke it all open was that they didn't even interview Bieniemy, or they didn't call him, or he wasn't on the initial we want Eric Bieniemy list. So if they managed to get Bieniemy in there, I think that would probably save some things if that was so important to him. But then it goes back to the same thing on why would Bieniemy go there?
Well, Deshaun.
If he had the assurances, yeah.
I mean, that's why he would go there if he knows Deshaun's staying.
But that's it. That is it. I mean, they don't have picks. They don't pick
here. Deshaun alone's more enticing than here right now.
Oh, God. Absolutely.
All people said, Tom, you're boy Carter. No, I mean, Deshaun is more enticing than here. And that's ooh. I mean, that's saying a lot because they're a shit organization.
Yep. It's true.
What do you want Freddie Kitchens for? For what?
I hope that's a troll comment. I hope that's a troll.
Wow.
I really hope that's a troll comment. Joseph has a
hold on. Yeah. Why are you guys okay with Deuce Staley? He was just part of the coaching staff that failed. And it's a yes, man. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
If we get Deuce, we're not competing for a while, guys. That's like a bridge hiring. And you're also only getting Deuce if nobody else wants it.
Yep, Clay, I know that. But Urban gets real interested in the job when Deshaun Watson's available. Remember that. We're not talking about a 30-year-old. He gets real interested in the job as well for the number one pick in Trevor Lawrence or Deshaun Watson. So don't act like, as a Jags fan, you get Watson and you're going backwards.
Yeah, Deshaun's like a top 5, top 7 quarterback right now on a bad team.
And you have offensive weapons. You have wide receiver weapons for him. He comes with weapons on the outside. So now you just got to address your defense. But now everybody wants to say, like a guy like Miles Jack wants to stay, right? Like then your guys start wanting to say because you have Deshaun. So that's how I look at it. But I get you though. You guys been winless for Trevor. But you're also winless. It puts you in a position of strength because you have options. You have options. Like franchise quarterbacks just don't come available. It's like left tackles. They just don't pop up. So like when a guy is a stud, not saying Trevor isn't going to be one, but Deshaun is already.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes guys like the known.
It's like you're getting Deshaun Watson, who we know is a top 5, top 7 quarterback, instead of getting Trevor Lawrence, who we think is going to be a top 5, top 7 quarterback.
I love how people say they don't trade in the division. Okay, John, you maybe not. Usually we're talking about two teams that aren't really that good, and really their upper brass is and that's being nice. Okay, so yes, shit organizations trade inside the division, but trades in the NFL don't happen that often. That's why I'm 75% saying that he stays, because NFL trades aren't like as prevalent as people want them to be. Like it happens, but it's not a guarantee that guys get moved because they don't like the spot they're in. We've seen it. Like we've seen guys hold out for money, etc., and they don't get moved. You know what I mean? Because teams also don't. I know they probably won't trade in the division. I get it, but when you're trading this kind of stuff, it's almost like okay to trade in division when you're trading 2 franchise quarterbacks.
If they had the best possible offer too. Houston, if they know, okay, he's gone, Houston's chasing the best available offer. And if the Jaguars had the best available offer, which is, hey, Trevor Lawrence and then some, again, we're just talking. This is just because it's a fun conversation. I don't think Tom and I are predicting it to happen.
No.
But again, to Tom's point, when stuff goes that bad, like it is down in Houston, to where J.J. Watt is apologizing to Deshaun on the field, and there's all of these things happening with Houston.
Sometimes you don't have a choice. That's all I was saying. That's all I'm saying. Sometimes you're just forced. And you can be forced in the hand. So
Joseph has a dream scenario. He says, dream scenario would be Devontae Smith at 6. We trade Wentz and our 2nd round pick to Indianapolis or New Orleans for their first and some player to lessen the salary hit. And with the late first, we take Asante Samuel Jr.
I don't hate it. But again, we're going to go back to what happened on Saturday night. A guy who can't throw from the pocket enough got eliminated in the postseason again. And now we're going to trust Jalen Hurts to be able to throw from the pocket. Okay. 52% this year. That's what's not the dream scenario for me. But I hear you. I love what you just did, though. 2 players I really like a ton. So I like that. It's just, Baltimore's loaded with talent. Loaded with talent.
Yep.
Guy can't throw from the pocket. Guy's still running off the interception because he can't throw from the pocket. You got to be able to. You got to be able to, babe. A little bit. You got to be able to throw a tiny bit. Like even if he throws 57% from the pocket. From the pocket. I'm not talking about rolling out and all the extra.
I agree, John. He says if I was in the New York Jets, I would go get Watson before I draft Fields. I agree.
Absolutely. But what, if you're, I guess your hands would have to be tied if you're Houston. because, I mean, why would you want the first, but I get it, in the division's tough. I could see anywhere in that top 5, really. Outside of like Cincinnati, obviously. You know what I mean? But like anywhere in that top 5, I could see. Trying to think if I'm missing somebody.
Falcons?
Yeah. Absolutely. He would love to go to Atlanta and play. He would love Atlanta.
And what? The Texans would end up getting Matt Ryan?
No. You don't got to match salaries. They would probably cut him. Or they'd probably release him.
I would have to look at the cap. Who knows at this point? I would have to look at the cap hit.
I don't know what his cap hit is for it to even be realistic, because, I mean, if his cap hit's like $20-something million, and I don't know what their cap situation is, what his cap hit would be. You got to go on Watson's contract. There's a lot going on there, but you also save money on the first-round pick at number at 4 or whatever the hell they're at. Right? So you're saving
4. Yeah, 4. Yep.
You're probably saving $15 million. Whatever top 5 guys get, they probably get 10, right? At least. Christ, I don't know what they get.
Robert, that's true, but then are we going to do the same thing for when Carson played and they had 5 drops?
Yeah, I'm not playing if I drop. My eyes tell me he's not good enough in the pocket right now. So I stand by this, and I stand by this one too. I'm awake. Are you? Yes, I am awake. And he said, "Tom needs to be on the radio." I am right here, baby. Right here. That's where you can find me. Screw mainstream. We'll be our own mainstream. Watson for 5 and Ryan. Yeah, but why would they?
It is a $40.9 million cap hit.
And that's even trading them.
Yep.
Okay, that's not happening. What's Watson's cap hit to Houston?
Oh, let's see. Texans. Let's see.
Trill, I don't think there's any chance that I like Eric Bieniemy. I don't think there's any chance Eric Bieniemy is coaching here after what just happened with Doug.
His cap hit this year is $15 million, but his dead cap is $67 million.
And what's his dead cap? If you deal him?
I believe so, yes. Because I think that's the same thing with everyone talks about Carson, to where like the dead cap is
billion.
Dead cap 67, cap hit 19 point. Cap hit 15.9, dead cap 67 million.
He ain't going nowhere. Going nowhere. They gotta eat all that money. He gonna write $67 million check. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all out there are wild. I didn't even know this. He ain't going nowhere. Oh, wait, what are you sorry for? That was the best one. That's a great compliment, brother. Hey, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry at all. Philly for life, 2, and there's wait, stop. Now everybody's gotta stop. Stop getting me Watson trades in there. $67 million dead cap if they deal him. Hey, freak out of here. You think who's
And if anyone thinks I'm lying, by the way, hold on. I'm just showing you what's on the prompter. There she is.
I'm just saying, like, there
she is.
I mean, it's a 1-year thing, so sometimes teams are okay with taking it. You know what I mean? Because it's a 1-year situation, right? Like, it's not. You know what I mean? It's a 1 year.
It's not going to roll over. It's not going to
roll over. So I get it, but what? No.
If the Texans do that, they are doing the process 2.0 Houston-ish. I mean, they are cutting everybody.
Like you would have,
they might opt out for the season because they don't have enough money.
Yeah, if it was $25 million, right? You say, okay, maybe Watson writes a check for 15, and they take a dead cap hit at 10. Okay, bye. You think he's right? Porter.
I think he said you're his favorite angry person.
I love it.
Alex, get that on a t-shirt. Get that on a t-shirt, Alex.
Please text Alex that.
Yes,
right
I
now.
will.
And I think that is another great compliment. I'm glad I'm your guys' favorite angry person. I don't want to be angry. I want to come on here and be yelling because we're winning games.
It's best for business, though. It's best for business.
I guess, but you know me. I'm not in it for the clicks, babe.
You're having a good day too, Tom. You're having a good day.
I'm not in it for the clicks. Okay, like one buddy's like, "Oh, this seems like clickbait though." On the crumb of the day, I'm like, "Would you grow up?" Like, it's not. I'm not clickbaiting you. I'm telling you.
What are we clickbaiting? Clickbait? Are we clickbaiting clickbait now?
I tell everybody who posts stuff that handles any type of social content. I tell you guys, we don't want clickbait. We don't want speculation posts. How many times do I say that? All the time. We don't want speculation posts because I don't want to be that source for people. Like if it happens, we'll be the first one to tell you. Hey, right? We can speculate when we do shows and have fun with it because that's what shows are about. When you put out content, you got to understand how the reader takes it. And even nobody understands. The reader, nobody reads. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody reads. We not see this. Like we dealt with all 2020. I gotta ask my mom. I gotta ask her. I don't know.
That is a haunting image. I was gonna say that is a haunting image. No notes.
Yeah. Don't we all? 125-850. Don't we all want Bieniemy, not McDaniels? But we're not getting Bieniemy.
What's up with that name? Was that assigned? Is he
I have no idea what's happening right now. I don't want to know. Robert, my brother, we appreciate you. The text,
Thanks, Rob.
super chat. Anybody that ever wants to support A2D over on the YouTube side of things, there's super chats, there's super stickers, all that crap. We love it.
Whoever wants to support their favorite angry person,
yes,
there's a way to.
One time to never have to work again and do 2,000 shows a week. Donate down below. Robert, I'll come on 45 times a day for you guys just yelling and screaming if you just
even if the Eagles win the Super Bowl, he'll come on and be angry about something.
No, not even angry. We'll be excited angry. Like it sounds like I'm mad, but I'm like jacked up, man. You know what I mean?
Fair.
There's excitement time when we get something right, and then there's I got to come up in an asshole. You know what I mean? But Robert says, no surprise here, Howie loves the yes man. Yeah, I mean, that's why, to me, I can see Deuce Staley here. But, we'll talk about that. But Texas, I want to give this one real quick. Texas, Mayo as a Texas Boyle, Mayo as defense coordinator. Would love that. Would hope he would bring him with him and not Wade Phillips. And I don't hate Matt Patricia, but I'd rather have Mayo, if that makes sense. Like, Matt Patricia was a good defensive coordinator. So, I'm okay with it, but I'm not, in love with it. But, again, I'd rather – there's so many things I'd rather have, guys. There's so many things I'd rather have. Like, one guy put out a head coaching list, a whole coaching staff list in one of the Eagles groups on Facebook. This is why I can't. And it was like, Deuce Staley head coach, Seth Joyner defense coordinator, Brian Westbrook offensive coordinator. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? First off, stop. We're sounding like the Flyers. Brian Dawkins, just freaking some kind of coach. Like stop. I don't want retreads. Yeah. Follow UFC. There's 2 shows. Spit and Fire with Rachel Blaze. She has UFC fighters on all the time and MMA people. And every Saturday, we're going to be getting a combat sports show coming every Saturday. But in the meantime, Steve and Zach on the weekly roundup every Saturday here at 4 o'clock on A2D. They always have at least one fighter on a week. Like always. I mean, Steve's good at that stuff. He always has fighters on. He talks it. So there's 2 shows and a third coming, Robert. So we're getting there, baby. Getting there for you. Getting there.
So you bring up, names for defensive coordinator. I know someone asked us who are the names, and this goes back to, and we'll answer the question because that's why we're here. But it's tough because it's kind of the same thing. It's like gut feeling. But I made a list the other day. So I'll just give you these names, and then for the ones that are lower level names, I'll give you the synopsis and kind of their resume type thing.
Yeah.
So the number 1, Gus Bradley. I know he's been mentioned here in the past.
What, defense coordinator?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. Gus as defense coordinator. Yeah.
And he worked with. I mean, obviously he was a head coach with Jacksonville, but I believe you. Where?
And didn't fully work.
No, and he was the defensive coordinator for Seattle, right? During that stretch. Okay. The next one, which I really like, and I'll give you a little synopsis. Eric Washington, who's the Bills D-line head coach. And he also worked with Carolina, and Carolina ranked 2nd in sacks and 5th in quarterback hits under Washington. And when you look at the Bills, that's all they do is get after the quarterback, to where you're pairing that mind with the talent that we already have on defense. When you talk about a defensive line, I think that's really
you be the defense coordinator.
Yes,
but he's never done more than defensive line coach.
Correct. Oh, Gus is on the Raiders apparently. We didn't even see that.
Oh, did he? Awesome. Good for him. Good for
them. That'll help them.
I think he signed him last week. Look at you, Rye, putting out fake news. Look at this guy. Look at this guy over here.
Wouldn't be my first rodeo.
Homer. Bye, Homer. I didn't even know he went there either.
No, so I did not see that.
Answer questions like, yeah.
Hey, at Fam and Home, we've been going through a friggin' war zone with our team. You think we have to worry about the Raiders?
Yeah, I didn't know, but that's a great hire by Groots because they need to really fix their defense. They got talent on defense. I mean, Mike Mayock's been drafting talent on defense since he got there. I mean, they just got to figure it out. But that's a good hire by the Raiders.
Sneaky, I should say sneaky hire, especially because we didn't know
also
that.
The other one.
Joe Woods, who is the 49ers defensive backs coach and passing game coordinator. Because you look at them, all they do is get interceptions. And maybe, just maybe, he can teach our guys to turn around for the damn football.
Maybe. These guys, it's the same thing, right?
It's a crapshoot.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing you're telling me if an offensive coordinator, defense coordinator takes a head coaching job. I don't know. The guy could be smart as shit or be the biggest dope in the room. I don't know. Like you like Brian Dable, right? And I don't dislike him. I didn't dislike him.
But it's a crapshoot. We don't know. Like we don't know.
He might be so smart. He might be like super smart, but he might be a douchebag. We don't know. Like we just don't know. We don't personally know what we're getting. The only people who know is the people he just coached this year and the people that are around him to be able to say like this guy is a legit head coaching candidate. Like this guy gets it. You know what I mean? There's some guys who put out now. I would assume McDermott, part of Andy tree. Dable probably, so I like the connections in that, where it's not a full connection, but a connection. I don't,
No, but you're to your point. It's all about translating because not only like you go from an offensive coordinator, and like I said, the reason why I liked him so much is because I know when I look at that offense, it's him. It's because he has a defensive-minded head coach. But to your point, just because he's a really good play caller doesn't mean he could be a great leader of men. He could, but I don't know. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of extra things you have to do as a head coach, aside from just calling plays and scheming an offense out.
Nah, you got to be a leader, man. That's the difference. So it's about being a leader and having a good staff. That's what you look for. At least that's what I do, and that's why I like the hiring of Doug when they did it. So, and I still like Doug. I mean, but guess what? I mean, everybody's time comes up, but I just don't want people crying in 2 years.
Fam at home, and then I'll ask you too, Tom. If you knew there was only two scenarios, which would you want more? Hiring Josh McDaniels or getting Doug Pederson back? And I know we're not getting Doug Pederson back, but I'm just like, who would you rather have knowing it's just going to be those two?
Doug.
Oh, thanks, Don. Thanks, Donovan. Appreciate you.
I love you, babe. I love you. Appreciate you. With you guys, man, in the super chats, help A2D Radio blow it all out of the water. I think I said it earlier that I would rather just have stayed missionary and status quo because I at least know that them two have gotten out of a losing season before and not just get out of it. They won a Super Bowl. So like, I know they're capable of it, but that doesn't mean I liked it. But you've heard me say this numerous times. Before anybody was fired, if one was going, then both had to go. Then the only way you could do it the opposite is fire Howie maybe and keep Doug. But even that doesn't work necessarily because now the next GM might not want him. So, when one goes, both go. That's me. But I'm going to miss Doug, man, because another guy get a bad rap here. He couldn't do anything without Frank. Couldn't do okay, stop. You realize the organization wanted to fire Frank right after
the one who saved Frank.
And the guy said no and fought for him the same way he fought for Mike Rowe, and they fired. And now I'm going to get fucking mad. Okay, this guy went to bat for the genius Frank Reich, who I like. I love fucking Frank. So everybody thinks I don't like Frank. I love Frank. Okay, I'm tired of Crown City. Okay, I'm tired of Crown City. You watch the last drive in Indy? You watch the last drive against Buffalo? They look like they had no sense of urgency. We'd be smoking dudes here. You understand that? I was in Indianapolis Colt fan groups, and they're crushing the guy. They wanted him fired. So, all right, the grass isn't always greener. But what I will say to you guys is, Doug fought to keep Frank Reich here after 2016 when Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman didn't want him here anymore. Fought for it. Kept him here. They go win a Super Bowl. This past offseason, which nobody knew COVID was coming, it was going to really change how things were going to go off-season wise. What Doug said. Mike Rowe's back. Blah, 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 blah. Not 48 hours later. not 48, not 72. The next fucking day, Mike Rowe's fired. I'm not Mr. Mike Rowe, okay? I don't care. But I'd rather have an offensive coordinator in here than my head coach having to have that responsibility. I said it to my buddy last night on the phone. He loves it. I said, I always want two. Maybe three. I always want 2 or 3 guys calling plays a game. You know why? Nobody ever thinks of this. Because now I'm going to keep the defense on their fucking heels because they don't know what's coming because we don't have tendencies. You understand? We don't have tendencies because you don't know what's coming because we all have a different fucking style.
Variety.
Goodness, that's how it works. So I didn't want Doug being an offensive coordinator, and I don't think he wanted it either. But the way the offseason worked, it gave him no way to hire one. You understand? Because they fired his freaking guy. So listen, we talk about it. You can't have things both ways. And this organization has loved to have the power struggle up top and have it their way or the goddamn highway. And it's disgusting. You can't just tell a guy that it's won a Super Bowl here who wants his offensive coordinator back and you fire him. You fire him. As the owner and the general manager, you fire him, okay? And you don't expect there to be an issue moving forward? Think about that, guys. In any line of work, if you're really successful somewhere and you don't feel like your voice is ever heard, why would you want to be there?
And especially when you're then made out to be the scapegoat and you have to speak for the decisions that you're not making. And we're not saying Doug had zero say in these guys. We don't know. But to say, oh, well, Doug Pederson's the only reason why the team was bad this year. And I'm not saying that, but that's what this organization tried telling us.
Yes. And one more thing.
That's an issue.
And one more thing, Rye.
Yep.
They did try to tell us that. You're 100% right. They lied to us about everything. Like we talked about, you can promote guys in your scouting department and everywhere else, right? But your head coach can't promote anybody or keep people. Okay.
Your Super Bowl winning head coach can't do that.
But he can't promote anybody. But you can promote his assistant coach as head coach. Think about this. Are you people okay out there? Are you people okay?
That'll be memed. Thank you.
My goodness. And that's something about Brandon Graham. Since everybody, the 217 people that are watching live right now, you guys get a little inside scoop real quick. Okay? Because I don't care about keeping freaking sources. I don't give a rat's ass. If something's factual, I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to tell you is Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox have claimed none of this stuff, or at least 90% of it, to be true about Carson Wentz. Just leave that right there. 2 of your leaders on your defense are saying it's all blown out of proportion. Dude, there's always gripes. There's always little issues. And especially when you're not winning. But to the level they're making it out to be is false. Okay? There's no hating Doug Pederson. There's no Doug Pederson wanted Hurts and not Carson. Are you fucking guys okay? Are you people okay? Do you really think that was said? Do you really think that was going on? Oh, my God. Oh my God! The only thing to be semi-factual in all this that I even believe is Dan Orlovsky's comments. Yep. It's it that he really trusts Frank. I just believe he really trusts Frank. I don't believe that he doesn't trust anybody else. I think he's now reaching. Okay, he's reaching. So I was gonna tell you, there's 2 leaders of your defense telling you that this stuff is being blown out of proportion. Okay, out of proportion. But keep believing the beat writers and the clowns that report this horse shit in this city. I told y'all from day one, freaking 5 years ago, where you need to follow. Right here. No agenda. Don't care about access. Don't care about if you don't call me back. Don't care about none of it. I care about the facts. And I care about winning. I'm like a player. Like mentally, I'm like a player as a fan. I just care about fucking wins. I don't care about the rest. All right? Teams go through shit. You got 52 men, 53 men, whatever the fuck it is, in a locker room, a bunch of grown-ass men. You all play a sport before? Have you? Because if you haven't played a team sport before, to the level like this, or even a high school or college level, shut up. And 90% of these beat writers never did. So they want to divide locker rooms and divide and conquer shit for their own clicks and their own well-being. It's a joke. Disgusting. Because they don't understand it. They don't understand it's going to be egos, guys. Oh, my God. A guy's got a professional at. Newsflash, a fucking entertainer has an ego.
Wait, so Tom, a franchise quarterback, he shouldn't be able to say, hey, this is my team? Oh my God. Oh
Right.
my God.
Remember what I got? Yeah, right. He's not supposed to take ownership in that. Ownership in play calls. Owners, get the fuck out of here.
He's not supposed to feel a certain way.
Remember the message I got 2 days ago from a certain guy? Told me I'm an egomaniac on the air. That's funny. Because any person that knows me just knows I'm passionate about sports. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care if I'm right, wrong, or indifferent. I really don't care. And people can expose me all they want. All right? My boys on, the people that, I've been wrong. You think I've been wrong? I don't give a shit. I come out here to have fun, yell and scream about shit that pisses me off. And it's as simple as that. And I'll go and not say I might not say 20 words the rest of the night. So don't assume what people are, because assumptions get you in trouble. And I'm not like, I don't care. You can think whatever you want about me. It doesn't matter. But it's just a point. Like, you see the points. Like, people are just going to assume about somebody. Well, he's an egomaniac. What? Dude, it's passion, baby. It's passion. What city did you grow up in? I grew up with leaving it out there. Every sport I played baseball, I'm taking you out in a double play. So, I mean, you can go through things like when you play golf, right? You're just trying to, maybe we play a good game together. Maybe, it'll be good. We go play a tournament, you're like, I'm good with coming in like 20th. 20th is cool. Like, it's cool. Cool, I'm just here. Now you fucking take everybody out. And if you do, when you're playing sports, it's not an ego. When you're playing sports, in a way, is there not like you have to believe in yourself. You have to trust in yourself. You have to believe you're great. Are you guys fucking kidding me? I'm so sick of this shit. I can't talk about this shit organization anymore. I might ban them for like a month of me talking about any beat writer, anything to do with this organization, the leaks by Howie Roseman that I also know to be freaking true. So people can tell me in our group chat, no, Tom, no, it's not true. Think about it. No, think about a snake. Think about what snakes do. Freaking loser.
Marl, he's angry. That's why. He's angry.
You don't think about Mar, you can't come in right now and not know the content. All right, love you guys. Enough of me being angry. But that's the way. I was just giving people the whole way of you can just try to take somebody out, personally and their character. Like, you call somebody egomaniac, that's like a character shot.
Absolutely.
And they do it to Carson, is my point. Like, you're just assuming something. No, when you're trying to be great at something, you want to believe in yourself. So if you think I come on here and I don't believe in myself, you're crazy, babe. You know what I mean? Alan, shut up. Take a Xanax, bro. I'm good, bro. We're talking sports, honey. You want to go to a library? There's plenty of them. All right? Or you got to be quiet. All right? Look at Don. Don knows what's coming next. You've been listening long enough, babe. That's why I love you. That's why you're my guy. No, Anthony, another bang. I'll be climbing the walls in here. Thank you, Robert. Oh, sorry. I'm being you double quicked. Hey. Look at
this.
First time here.
Rico Suave. First time? First time?
I love you. Robert, I appreciate that, dude. That's all it is. I just want to be passionate. I want to speak for the people. You guys aren't mad? You guys haven't watched this football team, this ownership, this general manager, this scouting department, and you're not mad? You're like, oh,
what is this?
Okay, just sports. Just sports, guys. Dude, sports is a whole life. I lose in anything. I hate it. Like, when I was like, you want to play a game the other night? I'm like, Because I feel like if I lose, I'm not going to be happy. I was having a good day.
Yes, hey, Jacob. Yes, Jacob, you did.
All right. Jacob, listen, everything's up. And if you're listening wherever, it'll stay up on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch when we're done. And it'll go to all our podcast places as well. You missed the rant about a lot.
Tom, do you want to shift gears to playoff stuff?
I want to, but we can talk Flyers when they come on. That'll even be better.
Okay.
But we're not going to have much time. So, let's just shift to more. Do you want to go back on the games, or do you want to just move forward on them?
Well, what I was going to ask, and we, because we're 4 teams left to where we'll end up probably dissecting the 4 teams as we talk about it. But my question to you and the fam at home, give me, let's say, the top 2 Super Bowl matchups you want to see, just based off of entertainment value, or maybe you hate one. Let's say you hate Tom Brady or something. And this is obviously with Mahomes playing. Like, I'm not saying we want to see Chad Henne, even though that was friggin' absolutely entertaining in the final moments of that game. But the 2 Super Bowl matchups you most want to see come out of this next weekend.
The NFC is really hard for me.
It is
because I love Rodgers. I love Brady. And I'm going to do a video on this soon. It's going to be a crumb of the day because what I've tried to learn as I got older if my team's not in the fight, I try to respect greatness in the moment, right? Because when they're done, like Jordan, right? I don't want to be like, man, I wish I would have liked him more. Like you love Jordan, but you hate him at the same time. In the moment, if you grew up a guy like me, where I'm 10 years old in 1991, you know what I'm saying? So like, you're just getting into sports and he's killing your team. So like now, if my team's not in the fight, and especially with Brady because we beat him, it's like I feel cleansed on Brady. You know what I mean? Like I love Tom Brady. People get so mad at him. Like I love Brady. Like I mean, greatness is greatness. He's going to another NFC title game at 43 years old. Now an NFC title game, and think about that. Like leads the Patriots and now going to an NFC title game. But I love Andy. Andy's dad to me. Okay, but the Chiefs just won one last year, so I'm not rooting for the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. I'm all in on fan bases that have been starved. Okay, and Kansas City was a fan base that was starved. You understand? Too in football, they got theirs. Okay, now guess who's up? It's the Buffalo Bills. Bills Mafia has been starved. Bills Mafia is a fan base like us. Bills Mafia just wants to win. Bills Mafia went through four straight Super Bowl losses. 4 of them in a row. And they never got back to that again. And now they got a chance. Now they got a chance to get there. So for me, the one team I want to see win the Super Bowl is the Buffalo Bills more than any of them for their fans. Make sense? And Sean McDermott, love Sean. So for their fan base, they deserve it, guys. If there's a fan base out there, it's the Browns, it's the Bills, it's us as the Eagles fans. We're the same type of rabid dogs that sat through slop and shit and deserve our time. And it's now time for the Buffalo Bills. But I think a fun matchup would be Buffalo, Green Bay would be fun because I think it would be electric. But I also think it would be fun to see the first ever home team play, first ever team play at home in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. First time ever. So I think that would be fun. So my 2 matchups are either one of them two, because my NFC I'm good with. I'm content. If it's Rodgers or Brady, I feel good. But I really want the Buffalo Bills. I love Patrick Mahomes. Love him. Love Andy. Love what they do in Kansas City. You can go back there next year. Don't care. Bills, Mafia, you deserve it. It's time. Bobby, thanks again for the tip. He says Bills versus Bucs. Bills wait 20 years to get revenge on Tom Brady on the biggest stage of them all. Buccaneers become first team. They're Super Bowl. Bobby, we're on the same page, brother. I love that matchup. I think it's great ratings. Boom, boom, boom. And I love Mahomes. Kansas City, Chiefs Kingdom won one last year, guys. They're not starved anymore. They got Mahomes forever. All right? Let Bills Mafia get one. Let's enjoy some tables breaking and shit. And let's enjoy some excitement. All right? It's their time. They're rabid. They're just like us. That's what I got on that.
My number one.
I wasn't angry. See?
That was passion.
See the difference? See the difference, fam? I let it all out in 2 hours or wherever we go. I put it on the table. Go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Sometimes I feel bad because I feel like I don't know. Like I end the show. Like, how much did I talk?
I'm on 3 times a week. I say enough. You know what I'm saying?
I'm on freaking 6.
Yeah.
7.
You know what I'm saying?
We're saying enough.
I get to Friday. I'm like, oh God. I feel like I went through a war. You still have 3 more to go. You know what I'm saying? Like I go to Friday. I get to my last show of the week, Friday, and I feel like I'm done. And I'm like, wait, Tom still has 3 more shows.
Couple more to go. That's all.
He's already halfway there. To me, my number one matchup would be Mahomes-Rodgers. Just because, like, and you watch, I'll say this.
I know the younger generation. I get it, right? You want high tempo. You want 90 points scored. I get it.
No, it's not even that. I just don't think – I think that's the best chance of not getting a blowout because both quarterbacks aren't going to stop.
Well, do you really think Bills and Bucs would be a blowout?
No. But I just think, my God.
Packers would be? I don't think any of these games would be blowouts. Honestly, I think the biggest blowout you have, potentially is the Chiefs playing in it with a healthy Mahomes.
Yes, it would be. No, the biggest blowout potential is Chiefs Bucs.
I don't know. The Bucs can score. The Bucs can score.
Listen, they're a good team.
They were real quick. They were lighting lamps before the Saints, and Saints are loaded defensively, and they were lighting lamps. So give it a look. You know what I mean? That's why
You know what? Though? You know what I just realized? We're in a great spot as fans because all of them are I'm picking between Brady and Rodgers. I'm picking between Mahomes and Josh Allen. Like they were like you look at it, 3 out of the 4 were the top 3 in MVP voting. If you think about it, it was Brady, Mahomes, or not Brady, Rodgers, Mahomes, and Allen. Those are probably the 3 best quarterbacks this year.
You're right. I mean, you can make case for Tom just because everywhere he goes, he's going to win because he demands it. He raises the level of people around them. I mean, look at that defense. I mean, that defense is loaded with talent, but they're younger too. Like they got a lot of young pieces and vets. Like they're weird. Like Levante David, the guy McAsue, are older guys. But then, people tell me, hey, Tom, guess what? Linebacker position is not as important anymore in 2021 NFL. That's what people tell me. Oh, yeah? Is that true? Because who made the biggest impact last night? His name was Devin White. All right? Pretty good linebacker. All over the fucking field. Over the field. So don't tell me that the linebacker position doesn't matter, Howie Roseman, when Jim Schwartz begged you for Patrick Queen or Kenneth Murray. He begged you for one of them. Fucking joke. Another reason he left. Everything circles back, right?
Yeah, he retired. No, he got the hell out of here. And my second one, it's Bills Packers, man. Just because, like you talked about, Bills fans, it's time.
You don't like Tampa at all in there. That's not one of your.
It's not that I don't like Tampa. It's that I just want something different. Like I'll be cool with any of the matchups. Like I said, there is none of the teams I hate. I like the Chiefs. The Bucs were my Super Bowl pick before the year. My prediction before the year was Chiefs Bucs.
You remember what mine
was? Bills. You didn't do Eagles. Bills.
Was it Bills Bucs?
Either Bills Bucs or Seahawks. Or no, it was Bills. I think it was Bills Seahawks. I want to say Bills Seahawks. Because I don't think you were a Ravens guy. Because I don't think you fully bought into Lamar.
No, I bought into the roster for sure. I like the Bills a lot this year, obviously. But I did like the Rams to make the playoffs. I remember that.
I was dead wrong by them. I had them winning 5 games.
It doesn't matter. I just, I'm just looking back like if we were close with stuff because it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
No, like were we in the ballpark? I wasn't sure. The Pack. I don't know where I had the Packers.
We were lukewarm because we thought they had a bad draft.
Yeah, we weren't sure. We weren't sure at all.
You and I were high on the Browns. We did good there.
Yeah, I think we were pretty close. Pretty close. I was definitely high on the Bucs because of all the talent and Brady. I could have had them in going. I don't even remember, but it doesn't matter. We're both around the ballpark. But you're right. I mean, we're getting spoiled right now.
I remember the reason why you didn't go Bucs. It's because, well, number one, on the same show, Greg and I were like, and Greg's going to go Bucs because of TB12. But like you were hesitant because of the hype. Like you didn't want to do. Like, we weren't sure if they were going to be like the Browns last year. We were like, oh, my God, the dream team type thing. Yeah, so, you always liked the Bucs, but you were hesitant to put them in the bowl. That's what I was just like, oh, my God, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm in. It's like, I didn't care. Like, I didn't care if they ended up winning 2 games. I'm like, this team's the freaking dream team we're doing.
Well, who do you think wins? I mean, that's the question. Who is winning?
It all?
No, like
this weekend.
Super Bowl. Yeah, who are we seeing in Super Bowl? And then we'll get in. The Flyers are about to start here in a couple, so we'll be able to talk some Flyers and then finish her off.
I think we're getting Bills Packers.
I think we're getting. You know what's funny is yes, I would assume I don't know how the Packers lose. Right, like Rodgers playing at such a high level. Their defense is good. They're stopping the run better. Obviously they got 2 great corners. So everybody tells me corners don't matter. I mean, they got 2 great
linebackers.
Yeah, they got everything. I mean, that might be their only position of a little bit of weakness is in the middle because but still, I mean, they got a really good defense. That all being said, I definitely got the Bills going. Definitely got the Bills. I don't care if Mahomes is healthy; it might not even matter because of that toe. Like, if you can't step in the throws, that's trouble.
He's not going to be 100%. There's no way.
I don't think he plays, and I don't think Chad Henne's beating Buffalo.
You don't think he played? Wow.
Man, he looked. Listen.
No, he didn't know where he was at. He had no idea where he was at.
Remember with Carson, right? I think they said he wouldn't have played that following week, right?
He would have been out for a week.
He was at least out that following week, correct?
Yep.
Now, Carson didn't even recognize his own wife. Mahomes looked real similar to that at first.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know where he was. I mean, you see concussions and you see that. That's concerning. That would make me think he's not playing. Now, Vegas sort of is leaning towards he is playing. Okay? But I don't know. But either way, I got the Bills winning this game, and I got the Bucs winning this game. I got two road teams going to the Super Bowl. They both went on the road. Buccaneers somehow went on the road. I don't know how the fuck they're going to do it, but I think there's that matchup of the first ever team playing in their home stadium for the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. That's true, Colin. Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton was also out because he had COVID. He had the concussion, then he got COVID right afterwards.
I'm awake. The Manna curse is just, that one's an easy one for Lamar because he can't throw. So that's Johnny did get a concussion, John.
And it was easy for Antonio Brown the previous year because Antonio Brown's crazy.
Where's this coming from? Everything I'm reading, he's in concussion protocol, guys. Unless you guys got different information for me, I mean, pass it along. But listening, I was just listening before we came live, and they were talking about how the concussion protocol is going to work for him.
Well, at the end of the day, I think it comes down to concussion-like symptoms too, Tom. You know how strict they are with this now. You know what I mean? I think if they show anything close to concussion-like symptoms, you got to go through the protocol. To where like you and I were talking last night, I'm like, oh, it looked like he hyperextended his neck when he came down. But whatever it was, he came out with jelly legs. He didn't know where he was at, so there has to be some kind of protocol.
Yeah. To me, everybody's talking concussion, so I don't. I mean, maybe a nerve in your neck can do that. A nerve in your neck might even be worse. I mean, it might be out longer. So
yeah, we dealt with nerve damage with Jordan Howard last year. They were saying it was day to day. He was out for 6 months.
And both are doing similar shit. They're involved in almost every play.
Yep.
So I don't know how he plays this weekend, and I sure as I don't know. I mean, they can win with Chad Henne, I guess, but I don't see it. I mean, but the NFL is fucking weird. I mean, who thought Nick Foles was going to win a Super Bowl? So
I did. Thank you for bringing this up, Parker. I did. You see Arians talking all this nonsense. What is it like? Don't start. Just because you win a couple playoff games, don't start talking about what the Patriots didn't do. They won titles.
This is what I hate. You know what I mean?
And I was an Arians guy, but he coached them out of some games this year because he kept without.
Then he's telling us Brady coached them out of games.
Yeah, I can't do Arians.
I mean, good for him.
Win a title first before you start talking.
Good for him allowing Tom to coach it. I mean, if that is true, good for you giving credit to Brady on this. He's almost. Yeah. I'll give him. I'll look at the other side and argue that he's actually giving Tom a lot of credit, but I don't like the jabs at the Patriots, man. He won a lot of fucking Super Bowls. I mean, there's no need to go there.
Yeah, it's not time to talk about what other teams didn't do when you still have to win 2 more games before you yourself wins. You know what I'm saying? You're not on a parade right now. Save that for the parade speech.
Yusuf, that would be the weirdest wind knocked out of you wobble I've ever seen. I mean, I've gotten the wind knocked out of me.
Same, yeah. I think what he meant was letting Tom make coaching decisions in game. No, like Tom said, I understand what he's saying, but I just
the same thing that Carson Wentz was doing.
Yeah, interesting.
Oh, that thing. That fucking same thing. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
Sounds familiar.
Wow. No, that wasn't a shot at you, Parks. That was what we were talking about earlier.
No, the narrative.
Well, Yusuf, there's another guy I would have taken in the second round. So continue to keep putting that sword deeper into my chest.
Tom, I would have taken him in the 1st round, knowing where our 1st round pick is. You know what I mean? I would have taken him in 2 seconds.
Well, Bobby, if that's true and it's nerve and all that, fine. I mean, good for him, but I mean, he's still got to get himself ready to go with that toe.
Yeah, the foot's still not right. The foot's still not okay.
Yeah, Morris, how about that? An audible. That never happens because I don't want my quarterback calling audibles the line on stuff he sees.
Especially somebody who's been in the league for 5 years.
And Moore put a stat in on his audibles. He's had 12 touchdowns and no interceptions. So I don't know how real this is, but this is what I read. And if that's real, that's fun.
Ironic. Let's see. Don, what are you talking about last night, Don? There was contact tracing with Memphis.
Well, yeah, one of the players had it.
Valanciunas.
Valanciunas, yeah. Typical Sixers, we don't get to play, and we were a 3-point favorite after a little bit of a weird performance the night before, and now we're a 3-point favorite on a back-to-back. Was interesting to me. I actually loaded up on the Sixers last night because Vegas was telling me they roll them, and then that's my luck. But thank God for the Browns and the Bucs covering.
Yeah.
I did tell everybody they wanted to win money. You throw your money on the Buccaneers this week that they weren't losing that football game.
Yes, sir.
Don't beat a good team.
And, well, the two things we hammered, Tom, take the Bucs and take the Browns to cover. Those are the two things we were adamant about on Wednesday.
Easy bets. And the Browns, no excuse, but Higgins doesn't fumble there. That's a different football game. That's just common sense. Not saying they're going to win, but that's a different football game.
I got in so many fights.
I thought Baker played extremely well.
Oh yeah, he can play. He can play. Any excuse? I mean, any questions now? I'm not saying he's going to win a freaking Super Bowl next year, but they have their coach. They have their quarterback. They're absolutely fine. Like I said, Browns fans, I'm sure they're disappointed, and justifiably so. But I mean, they checked a lot of boxes this season, a ton.
We did, right? I think Chubb dropped 4 or 5 passes that were big too.
Oh, he was awful. Kareem didn't look okay. It was like these guys. It was weird. It didn't make any sense because I expected them to run all over them, and they did. But neither one had a really good game.
You guys want to hear a funny story? So I preached Buffalo, not being. You got to be able to throw from the pocket to win. So my dad's up because obviously he's going to become a grandfather soon. So he's up waiting it, and before that game, he's like, I really like the Ravens. I think and got in my head with it, and then next thing I know, I changed it. So
don't do that. What is Yusuf saying? At least you guys had games in the past week. The Wizards have been out since the Suns last Monday. Well, Yusuf, that might be the best thing for the Wizards that they're taking a break. I don't know what's going on with that team, Yusuf. What did James say? How come the Grizzlies are still playing today then? I don't know. I mean, why did the Nets go through contact tracing when the Sixers had it and they were playing that same night?
Yeah, it all doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. Bob says, listen to Pat McAfee's show, and they had Rappaport on confirming the nerve issue. Okay. Still, it might even be worse. So, might even be worse.
John says, funny how Baker played better without OBJ. Wonder if he goes back when OBJ is back. I don't even know if Odell will be there. I mean, we hear it every year anyway. You know what I'm saying? When it looks like they needed him, is Odell getting traded? I think half the country even forgot Odell was even on that team. So you never know. I'm sure we'll have plenty of reports even in Philadelphia saying, "Oh, Odell coming to Philly." I feel like that's been the storyline every spring the past 3 years.
Been a big theme. Been a big theme here. Big theme here in Philadelphia. And I don't know. I mean, maybe they would, have a more electric offense if he was there too. So, I mean, they cleaned up their offensive line this year. So,
but Tom, that's not a big factor according to some people, right? Offensive line.
I mean, I think they're better with OBJ. I mean, I don't know. I would automatically think that their offense would be more explosive, but could be wrong. I mean, Jarvis Landry's good, but it'd be nice. It would be nice to have both of them.
Yeah.
Especially when you're going against an offense like you were going against, the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Real simple there, in my opinion. I guess.
Yusuf, don't say that. Don't do that. Because I could see it happening, Yusuf. Tom and Rye, you guys excited to play Deshaun Watson twice a year? That would be the one thing that would somehow make this offseason and team situation worse, Yusuf.
Well, I mean, I don't think we're seeing him twice a year because it's a $60 million cap hit to Houston. So.
Yusuf, who's your quarterback next year? Who are you riding with? I want to know that. A lot of Washington people telling us in the chats, not in this chat, but in other shows, like, oh, maybe we go with this Heineke.
I was reading somewhere. Offense coordinator Jed Fish, Patriots QB coach, defense coordinator Jared Mayo.
Oh, for the Eagles?
Yeah.
No Adam Gase, no Patricia. I'll take it.
Yeah. Not a bad one at all. Not a bad one at all. I mean, better, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, nothing's great. So the Flyers in the power rankings for week 1, they are number 2 behind the Lightning. So that's fun. And they play at 7:30. That's my correction on that. I thought they started at 7.
I was looking for him. Like, where am I on the wrong frequency? Where am I?
I'm interested to see where, you know, obviously direction the Eagles go in the next couple of months. You know, excited for next weekend's games. And I would assume the Sixers are going to be good and ready to go Wednesday night. They play the Celtics. So
we'll have a live reaction / post-game show right here. Sixers Celtics.
Let me confirm that time for everybody. We're going to be going on a little later Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
More of a post game because they play at 7.
Okay, cool.
And the Wizards and Hornets are postponed Wednesday already.
Jesus God, what's going on?
Was the Wizards' whole team have it?
Yusuf will probably chime in. I'm not sure.
Crazy.
He says, I would like a proven vet like Stafford or Watson.
I don't want Stafford. Shit, I don't want to see Stafford. I don't want to see either one of them.
Robert, that's a great question. Was there any update as of this morning on Seth?
How long ago was it?
I feel like it's got to be a week, right? I feel like it was last weekend.
I'll let you know. It was a game in New York. It was against the Knicks.
Oh, it was a week and a half ago because that was a Thursday. That was a Thursday TNT game, so it was a week and a half ago.
I'm pulling it up right now just to.
Yusuf says 7 guys are positive on the Wizards.
That's fun. Was it the Nets game or it was the Knicks?
No, it was Nets. It was Nets because the TNT game. That's when they didn't have Durant or Kyrie, but we didn't have Seth, and we played horrible. Because Seth the night before had that crazy game where he put up like 20, 28 or something.
Yeah, so that was Thursday. You're right. That was
12 days? 12 days ago?
1-7. So we're now at the 18th. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
11 days ago.
9, 10, 11. So probably close. I mean, maybe Wednesday. Could be Wednesday. Depends. Depends if he pops back a negative. So we got to wait and see on that. But I'll ask you guys, something we asked Paulie, something that was our poll question yesterday on Agree Disagree, Sixers related. As constructed, this Sixers team can come out of the Eastern Conference. And I agreed with it because of what I saw over the first 9 games. Their ball movement, I thought this team was really, really good. They had a good bench. So, yes, I do still think they can come out of it, even though we get so fired up with Ben Simmons. But when we were 7-2, we weren't as fired up with Ben Simmons. We've been fired up when things have been missing.
It's so tough because I look at games when Embiid's out, and we need Simmons to step up. And I see, okay, Simmons, the way he plays sometimes can keep us he can keep us from winning. Like he's doing more harm than good right now. But I do, to your point, Tom, I do have to remember, well, when the team's fully constructed, Ben isn't supposed to be or expected to be the primary scorer on the team. He's like the fourth. It's Embiid, it's Shake, who, I mean, credit to Shake, he's awesome right now. It's Tobias, it's Seth. You know, I could argue Tyrese is expected to score more right now than Simmons, and Tyrese is a bench player. But I also know that, hey, there are going to be games where Embiid doesn't play, and there's going to be games where Embiid has off nights. And we need Simmons to just play a little bit better. And I look at, forget about the scoring. I mean, God, I see him, he's on the top percentile of turning the ball over. He just doesn't know where he's going with the basketball now. That's the craziest thing. And I don't know if he's in his own head. It doesn't make any sense because he's shooting. Like the 3-point, that's great and all. He's being aggressive sometimes, but he's not making anything. It's like he's doing everything but making it. And his shot selection is now not smart. Like before, at least I could say, oh, well, you know, he's not aggressive, but at least when he takes the shot, it's the smart shot. Now it's like he shies away from the good shot or taking on somebody who's 5 inches smaller than him, but then he chucks up a random, you know, off-balance shot, or he doesn't go up strong instead of dunking it. He does this little freaking palm shot that he does off the side of the backboard. Like I don't know what the hell he's doing.
It's like a dog on a hardwood floor offensively. Doesn't fully trust himself. I agree with Rob. I was pissed off on how he goes about his business when guys are out. That's when you need to step up. That's when you need to earn your money. When everybody's around, go ahead and be, more unselfish. But when guys are missing, dude, there's no reason that you should not be dropping 20. Matthias was released limits because Korkmaz is coming back. So they have to create room for him. So that's why. And if you're looking over the roster, that's the first guy to go, honestly. So that's why he is no longer here.
Which is a shame. I lost my bet with Greg.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to bet that one. That's a poor decision on you. Poor decision for you.
Listen, he was my Korkmaz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was my American garbage time Korkmaz. I just don't know why they couldn't have cut Dustin Poirier or whatever that. I mean, we have 5 centers. I mean, Elton / Darryl, can you just do me the favor? Can you cut the Frenchman who doesn't play instead of Matthias, who is lethal in garbage time?
Yeah, Quirk's lethal, shooting 40% from 3. So over the last couple of years, so I'll take my chances with him being like my 9th guy off the pine over Dakota. With all due respect to you, Dakota, we appreciate it.
Dakota's now my guy now. He's my de facto guy now.
Grim Gamer, we talked about McDaniels as a head coach earlier on in the show. Obviously, as soon as we're done, the shows are up on all our social platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You guys can also follow us on Instagram as well, and everything will be on our podcast forums as well. So it's where you can re-listen anywhere.
Vincent Poirier, Robert, you know what I'm talking about. See, I don't even know his freaking first name. Dustin Poirier. See, that's why you should cut him.
Yeah.
Dustin Poirier.
I'm excited to get this full Sixers team back. So I'm looking forward to talking to them and being a healthier squad moving forward. But everybody out there, obviously, stay tuned. 8 minutes, Sports Hounds, only on A2D Radio. Their poll question. I'll give it to you guys real quick.
While you're doing that, Tom, we also, by Wednesday, we could be talking about a certain catcher being re-signed here, possibly by Wednesday.
That's their poll question. The Phillies will re-sign JT Realmuto. Agree or disagree? I agree.
Hey.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but I agree now. The market has weakened, right? And that, like, where's he going? Bad teams will overpay for him.
It looks like it's either us or the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays are trying to get Springer. So
I don't see him going to Toronto. Taxes are too high too. I think he stays right here with Harper. So I agree to the poll. I'm curious to see what. I can't see anybody on their show disagreeing with it. I don't know why they would. I mean, maybe Brad can, but I don't know where he's going. and not saying that we're a great team, but he's got a better chance to win here than some of the other places. Maybe not Toronto, a good chance to win Toronto, but I don't think he leaves for Toronto. So it's just see how this plays out over the next couple of days. And Rob, loved the Archie Bradley signing.
Loved it.
Great signing. You can get out, man.
Yusuf, no, I don't think it's going to fail. I think we're going to see him in the finals.
And this, the Mets get Springer. I mean, definitely. I mean, the Mets getting Lindor is huge.
I want to say they'll figure out a way to screw it up, but I don't even know if the Mets would find a way to screw that up.
Well, I mean, anything's possible.
Having Springer and Lindor under the same roof. Not to even talk about all the other guys that they have.
Speaking of the Wizards, they're down to 6 guys. They are hoping to resume practice on Wednesday. So there's that. There's Washington, the Wizards, who feel like they haven't played in months and are already postponed Wednesday. So hoping to at least practice Wednesday in terms of that. But listen, looking a little brighter for the Phillies. You're hearing reports maybe Didi coming back too. So, maybe getting a little better. Didi, JT, signing Archie Bradley already. I feel already 100 times better than I did last year because now I have some semblance of outs in my bullpen.
29 days of spring training too, Tom, right?
Yeah.
Under the month?
It's right around the block. And Spidey, according to Rob Manfred, they are. He told players to be prepared to play full season with a full spring training. So they're going to try. But outside stuff's a lot easier. We've noticed this. We've been through it. You know what I mean? Outside stuff's a lot easier to control it. So, guys, thank you all for listening. We appreciate you guys chiming in with us. We love you. Thank you, everybody, for the tips, the comments.
Much love, fam.
Yeah.
Much love.
Etc. Stay tuned for the Sports Hounds coming up here at 7:30. We'd like to thank our doc, Make Him Yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com, as well as allcampusoc.com. Use discount code A2D for 15% off your team hats. Allcampusoc.com, discount code A2D, 15% off. You want your A2D merch, fam? PhillyDrinkers.com. Head on over there. I think this is your last day. I think they ship out today or tomorrow, but you still might be able to get your Nike hoodie, all right, with no notes on the back if you want it, and that is 10% off. Use code 2021. So 10% off. Use code 2021. Today is your last day. So go get it in. Go get it in, peeps. All right. We love you. Stay tuned for the Sports Hounds. For Tom Arnone, Ryan Brodo, all you